Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hello if you are new. My name is Andrea Johnson. I'm a Reiki master and psychic development teacher and inner work and manifestation coach. I help people expand their consciousness and improve their lives to achieve their soul's purpose. So welcome to the Good Vibe Tribe. Welcome to Conscious Coffee Talks, where I like to sit down and discuss a topic to expand our consciousness. So guys, today's topic is Ascension symptoms. Holy cow, have I had some Ascension symptoms lately. I think a lot of it is due because of the planetary alignments right now, and Earth is going through something with Christ consciousness and the Schumann resonance. So in this video, I'm going to be diving into what are some Ascension symptoms, what does it mean to actually ascend, and what causes it? What causes these things to actually kick off? Let's talk about ascending. What do you think when you ascend? Ascending, you think that you just like shoot up out of your body and you're just like back with source, right? You've ascended. You've been enlightened. No, ascending is not going anywhere. Ascension is just becoming. It's a process of re-remembering. You're not ascending anywhere. You're just re-remembering your true nature of who you are. You're shedding ideas, concepts, thoughts, energy that really are habits that are no longer serving you, and you're getting more into alignment with the true energy that is you, a higher vibrational energy. And so it's pulling more of that into your physical body. So that is basically your soul coming more into the body, so more life force energy, more, essence, more spirit. So you are becoming less matter, less dense, and you are becoming spirit. So essentially that is what happens when we ascend. We are becoming more spirit. We are pulling in more light and love energies into our body, our physical body. It is the vehicle that houses the energy that is us in this physical reality based upon the ideas and the beliefs and the concepts that we hold about ourselves, which is the ego per se. It's pretty much the vibration that we're most used to pulling because it's the idea that we have about ourselves that we've developed since birth, pretty much, and the womb. Yes, you absorb energies from your mother in the womb as well too, so that comes with you into this existence. So what can cause this? What causes ascension to happen? Well, ultimately, like I was saying, what happens is you release energy that is no longer you. So what can cause this is just a perception shift. So you see life differently than what you did before. So you're seeing something from a higher perception or perspective, so you can see something for what it actually is. You shifted the way you view something that was probably causing you low level vibration. So a thought was causing you negativity or causing low vibrations in your body and feeling that way. You may have now shifted the way you see it, and now it shifted that energy inside of you to love. So that can cause ascension. You can see life differently from experiences. You might have had an epiphany, an aha moment. You may have experienced something and that shook up your reality. I know some things for me was when I had a stepfather, my stepfather died, shook up my reality and made me go through a spiritual awakening. So we can also go through little spiritual awakenings with like classes that we take. So I know for me, every time that I take an energy work course, so like a Reiki course, like when I did my Holy Fire, I had a massive spiritual awakening, and it got me down a path that actually led me to an even deeper spiritual awakening that I would have never have gotten there had I not taken that class. So the spiritual awakenings, you can take energy courses. Every time I teach Reiki, I actually go through ascension symptoms. And part of this with Reiki too is you go through an attunement process. So what that does is it widens the Sushumna, which is your light column that goes down, like sits in front of the spine. It's one of the main channels in your body that actually pulls energy. So it widens it, meaning it actually allows you to pull in more energy into the physical body. So when we pull in more energy into the physical body, guys, it changes our DNA. The body actually has to adjust to the level of frequency in which it's at. And I see this with my Reiki sessions as well too, and some clients, that you're constantly radiating this frequency, right? Because most people sit at a comfortable frequency. You can think of it like it's your ego. It's the vibration that you are most familiar with, right? And sometimes that is lower vibrations. When you're going through hard times in life, that might be a lot of negativity, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and people get used to it and get addicted to it. And then where the problem is they hold on to that and they identify with it and it becomes part of them. I see this when I have some clients that come in for Reiki sessions, and we actually channel more light and love energy into their body. So when the body is pulling more light and love, it's actually forcing that other energy to then surface up to leave it. So the body can only hold so much energy, right? It can only hold so much. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes form, just moves, right? So when we're pulling in more light and love from whatever experience they had, and right now I'm talking about a Reiki session, then it's going to shift that vibration to light and love. And whatever was causing that lower level vibration is going to surface up. It's got to leave. It's got to come up and be let go of somehow. And this happens with Ascension symptoms. When you're pulling in more light and love, you're going to probably be getting a lot of emotional distress. Some things that you thought maybe you dealt with might surface back up because they were being stored in the body. So it's really pushing you to deal with these things and actually shine light on them. It's giving you the opportunity to shine light on them, to let them go permanently. That's why they're being brought up again. You're getting the opportunity to do this. So it really is a blessing, even though it may not feel good. It might, nobody likes to deal with the shadow self. Nobody likes to deal with, negative emotions or feeling uncomfortable. And this is why us humans have such a hard time dealing with our emotions, is we shut off that emotional feeling center after experiencing trauma. We don't want to actually deal with the emotions or the issues that we have, and we just numb them and we bury them, and the body is the holder of that energy. It is truly who you are as an energy. It is the physical manifestation of energy that you're holding on to. So this is where, when we get rid of that and you're experiencing the emotional distress, the anxiety, the anger, the sadness, whatever it is, the depression, those are all Ascension symptoms, because you're processing that energy finally. You're finally allowing it to leave your body. And to do that, sometimes we have to feel it. Unless you do some other intensive amount of energy work, because there are ways around it. But most of the time, the way in which energy will leave your body is through feeling. So some other things that can cause Ascension symptoms are planetary alignments. One in which that we just had I think a couple weeks ago, was the Schumann resonance spike. I'm not quite too sure how it did it, but literally what that means is Earth has evolved. Earth has raised her consciousness. She went from, I think it was 90 hertz to 100 and something. That's a pretty big shift. So we, as cells, an extension of the Earth, because she is part of us, we are part of her consciousness experiencing itself through human form. That means our energy gets up leveled too. We don't have any other choice, because we live on her. So we are pulling the same amount of energy that she is actually upgrading, right? This is upgrading to the 5D. We are evolving as a human race, and she is evolving as a consciousness as well too, because everything has a consciousness. We're all pulling from the same source. So it could also be planetary alignments like full moons that can actually spark off some Ascension symptoms. We just had one, I think, yesterday or the day before. It was a super moon, so was really, really close to the Earth. And when that happens, it's actually elevating energies within us to come up, to be let go of. That's kind of part of Ascension as well too. The planetary alignments can influence this on us. And then another thing that can cause ascension symptoms is just if you do a lot of inner work, a lot of energy work, things of that nature, meditation. If you are setting the intention to actually let go of lower level energies, you can put yourself through ascension pretty much. It's intensive amounts of shadow work. If you want to work with, say a spiritual teacher, a shaman, psychic work, things of that nature, energy work with Reiki. We kind of talked about that before. Hypnosis, EFT tapping, moving energy. So like me doing Reiki sessions now no longer kicks off any ascension symptoms for me because my body has adjusted to it. So when I have new things that I experience, say when I take my Reiki Karuna Holy Fire class that I have scheduled already, that will be a new level of ascension for me. So I find that the bigger the event per se, the more energy behind the intention, the more symptoms and growth that I have, the more healing that I get, if you want to call it that. So let's talk about actual symptoms. And I did kind of like touch on this before, guys, throughout the whole video, but let's go more into detail. So I did touch on the emotional distress, the depression, the anxiety. Emotions coming up is a symptom that they're being let go of. You're being pushed to let go of them. One symptom that I experienced earlier on when I first started my Reiki, and even in my Reiki practice when I started practicing on others, I felt high on life. My gosh, guys, the first Reiki class that I had taken, I came home and my husband was like, "Are you okay? Like, are you like here?" I was not. Like, I was like high on life. Everything felt euphoric. Everything felt like very weird looking. Reality felt very fake. I was not very grounded in my body. We'll just say that. And it was actually very hard to exist and to even concentrate. I could not be a normal human. And I've realized that the more energy work and more that I dive into the spiritual realms, it's very, very hard to be a human. It was an ascension symptom because my vibration was so high. I was not used to that. My body was not used to the amount of energy it was pulling from all day the class, because you do receive healing from just taking these courses. It doesn't even have to be Reiki, because you have the attunement as well too, because when it does the attunement to your physical body, just taking these courses can trigger or can give you an ascension pretty much. So you're raising your vibration when you take classes. So another symptom that I typically get when I take Reiki classes is I get physically sick. My body goes through almost like detox symptoms, and I tell this to my Reiki students as well too, because I warn them. It's actually called the 21-day cleanse, where you pretty much go through all these ascension symptoms, or some. It just really depends on who the person is and where they're at in their journey and what they need. Their body, mind, and spirit need to actually, get rid of, and what they need to do to level up. So I didn't really get sick until I did my master teacher certification for Usui. And it was maybe about the second or third day, I was on the couch. I could not do anything. My body was so drained. I felt so tired. I didn't want to do anything. I felt sick to my stomach. It was my appetite changed, and that's another symptom of ascension. So it can go either way, but my appetite changed. I couldn't eat. I literally just wanted to sleep, and I didn't feel depressed or anything like that. It was just my body needed rest, and that's what I gave it. And I'm not a person who gets sick, guys. I've had this happen before and other times too, and I'm kind of experiencing it now a little bit. When I was doing my Reiki Holy Fire, I usually take a week before I do my Reiki classes, and I will cleanse that week. I call it a Reiki cleanse. It's not too much different than what my lifestyle normally is, but I will take the extra effort to do extra things, to put more power behind the intention that I'm preparing my body, my mind, and my spirit to take a Reiki course. So I was doing more meditating. I was doing more reading of spiritual texts, things that really bring me back to, like, you know, my heart center, my soul. And I was reading through just the course materials before the actual class so I could prepare myself. And I did a meditation out of the Holy Fire book. And right after that meditation, my whole body lit up on fire, my stomach twisted, and energy left my body. Something had left my solar plexus after I did that, and I ended up getting physically sick from it. Like, I wanted to throw up. So I've noticed this whenever I do solar plexus work, because this is one of, and the reason why, guys, of why I'm so passionate about psychic work is because it helps me with my confidence. When I work in my solar plexus and I get energy to finally leave it, it actually makes me physically sick to my stomach. And it doesn't last for very long. So like that one with Holy Fire, it literally lasted maybe 10 minutes and I was good for the rest of the night. But it was definitely from that meditation and energy leaving my body, because I was in the process, I was on the path to taking the Reiki course, right? So I was doing all the work to do that. And so my body was getting prepared. It was preparing me for the energy that I was going to be receiving from this course. So we talked about the appetite. There's also food cravings that can change. I had this a lot. My food cravings shifted dramatically. When I first awakened, when I had my Kundalini awakening, I got the push to do veganism when I first spiritually awoken. And now, years later, guys, now it's like my body craves protein. It doesn't want anything to do with vegetables or fruit anymore. It is protein. And I've researched this because I thought it was super weird. And I'm not vegan anymore, guys. I don't hold a label to that anymore. I feel like I'm to a point of where I realize it does more harm than good. So what I mean by this is my mind around it. It's a whole nother video. So I don't have any of that anymore. So the fact of when I first started craving meat and I was a vegan, it really took me back, because it was just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm spiritual, right? Spiritual. And I should be craving like all fruits and juices and vegetables, right? And so like, it was a really big, like almost like dogma type of like thing for me, of where there was resistance created. I don't know. I'm getting off topic and it's hard for me to not go down the story, but you see like how much it, like that was unexpected. And I've read about this before. After I experienced that, I wanted to do some research, and a lot of people actually have a change in appetite and a change in their food preferences, their cravings. So people actually crave more protein because the body needs that building blocks. It actually needs to restructure your DNA, and it needs to build upon it. That is what is happening when you ascend. Essentially, your physical body has to adapt and level up. Our bodies are designed to adapt. So you can think about it as like working out or exercising, or things of that nature, or what we expose our bodies to. They are going to naturally adapt to that. So if you're pulling more energy in, you're going to naturally adapt to it. So it needed that to do so. And that's where you get the term like crystalline DNA. It is literally your DNA is changing to match the energy. So side note, I actually got the download of this before. If you are a spiritual person and you do a lot of spiritual work, it's actually very good for you to give blood, because it will help other people shift their vibration to your cells. So I've learned this but it kind of touched on this concept in my emotional code course, my interest and my habits. So you'll probably see this with people who, like smokers, they no longer have the urge to smoke or the craving to smoke, because whatever energy was driving that habit is now gone. They've healed it. So I literally lost like interest in some of the things that I labeled as like was me. So I was super into like working out, and don't get me wrong, I really like working out still, But that was my like life, guys. I was like really hardcore into it. I was a runner. I like lifted. It was like I was hardcore into it. And when I went through a spiritual awakening, I started to notice like those things, those interests that I had, the hobbies that I enjoyed, I started to not enjoy them anymore. And it was because I was becoming a different person. I started to actually pick up new hobbies. And becoming interested in new things, a lot of which were spirituality, because obviously when I started experiencing these things, I wanted to learn more about it. So my interest and my hobbies shifted. And sometimes that you can find with people who go through spiritual awakenings that it kind of scares them a little bit, and the things that brought them joy at one point no longer bring them joy anymore. So you can feel a little bit lost and confused when this happens. And I was kind of that way when I first started to notice these things, that the hobbies that I did hold, I didn't know what really to do with myself. It was almost like I labeled myself this thing, and when that dies, because I pretty much had an ego death, then you have a process of becoming all over again. So you have to get acclimated to these new energies in your body, and then it's a process of rediscovery almost of, okay, what is the new version of you, the new 2.0 version of you, now that you have this lower levels of energy gone and you're upgraded pretty much. What does new you want out of life? You know, because these other things, like there was more to life than just that, you know, than just these hobbies, you know. Or if you find a shift in your hobbies, maybe it's asking you or showing you that you need to take it to that next step, right? To experience different things. But you actually have to allow yourself to experience. You actually have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone to experience. And that's why I've had some clients that they stopped finding joy in some of life per se. And when you stop finding joy in life, it is because you're fearful of moving forward. It's another aspect of the ego. You're not allowing yourself to actually experience that joy. I've experienced increase in third eye activity. So increase in psychic abilities, communication with the other realm, things of that nature, especially after my Kundalini awakening, that first like maybe month. There was no difference between, it was like the realms were just meshed and there was really no shutting it off. And it's until I learned how to shut it off and control it. But at first it was very difficult. So you can probably experience more like vivid dreams. You can probably see energy more communication with the other side, just spirits and stuff like that. Now, don't get scared about this stuff, guys, because this is just, like I said, the meshness of it. It's just, that's what it is. It's our reality is just, it's all happening. It's just different levels of vibration, right? I was just more open to it. My vibration was raised, right? So that's initially what happens when we do psychic work. It's a process of rediscovery and self-discovery and raising your vibration and remembering who you truly are. And when you do this, these other things happen naturally because it's just life and you're just becoming aware of it. So that happened. So it was increased in dreams, lucid dreaming, messages coming through in dreams. I was feeling energy in my body a lot. I had beings come in, work on my body to like help me upgrade. I was having, lights flickering around me all the time. I was seeing symbolism in almost everything, which yes, there is symbolism in everything because everything is really communication in this realm. But it can really drive you crazy if you don't shut it off and you read into everything and you overanalyze. So don't do that. So just some weird stuff was happening and that can be part of it too. Now, guys, don't get scared or think that this is going to happen. I was extremely open, meaning I had no idea the possibilities that could happen. So because I didn't set the intention to not experience this, I did. So I had no expectations pretty much. I was brand spanking new to all of this. And so that's why a lot of people who awaken at first, they really don't realize the power and the control that they have or what's even possible until they experience it. And then they kind of tailor it back down to their liking. At least that's how I did it and how I've known other people to do it. That's why children are so impressionable, or they have such, I say, a higher connection to the other realm. One, they haven't had a lot of life experience, but two, they're not telling themselves that this stuff is wrong. Like, they just see it as life, right? So like, their imaginary friends are literally their friends. You know what I mean? They see it as something very natural. It's when we tell ourselves that, you know, these things are, you know, bad, or these things are not real or fake or something of that, or you're just making it up, is when it becomes that. Anyway, getting off topic here. And then the last one is no desire for human interaction, or really living a human existence. And what I mean by this, guys, is when you're really susceptible to the energies, especially at first, you don't really want to be around other people. You don't really have an interest in partaking in human things anymore, like going out with other people. You don't really feel like interacting. Doing human things is what I more so call it. You feel more like being secluded, just being with yourself, because it's just an energy that is, you know, comfortable, or you just want to just be like quiet and peaceful, because you understand, like, when you put yourself in, you know, different situations with different people, environments that maybe not good energetically, like say nightclubs or things like that, bars, you see how it affects your energy. You become so in tuned with the physical body and the shifts, that how other people play a role in your energy, how other places play a role, and how it affects you. And then when you feel it physically, and you'll realize the thoughts that come with it, how it shifts your thought processing. Thoughts and energy are the same thing. So you are what you consume, body, mind, and spirit. So you have to really be careful on this and make sure that you are consuming the right people, the right content in the social media, all of that. But that's essentially like, you just lose interest. And I know for me, the more I ascend, and I've even spoken to other spiritual teachers about this, and it's almost like you lose interest in just a human life. And not to say that's neither right nor wrong, it's just the choosing of it, the soul's desire. But also, there comes a point of where you were here to have a human existence. So you have to actually be present for that part of it, at least. Hopefully this video enlightened you. I always educate my Reiki students on this. I need them to be aware of what's going on and why they'll feel the certain ways that they feel. I've experienced all of the symptoms at one point. It just totally depends upon the amount of energy I'm pulling, what the action was that made me ascend, and my current energy at the time, how I need to shift, what needs to come up for me to let go of, things of that nature, what my life currently looks like now. So reality is a reflection of the inside out. So your reality is going to shift according to the new vibration that is you. All over the place, guys. I am totally sorry, but I really think that there's some gold nuggets in here that it can enlighten somebody. So if you guys are interested in my Reiki course, it's a combination of traditional Usui Reiki combined with psychic development and empowerment activities, all the things that I talk about in my videos on this channel, guys. A lot of it, we do activities in class to actually strengthen them. We talk about the concepts and we dive a little bit deeper into it. But so if you're interested in a class, let me guys know. I'm actually trying to digitize it so it can make it more accessible to all you on the internet. But I do live classes, and it will be offered live on Zoom as well for all you internet people. So I'm sending you guys all of my light and all of my love, and I would really appreciate it if you would give my channel a like and a subscribe, share it to somebody who you feel like it could benefit them. So sending you guys all my light and all my love. We'll see ya.